combining Italian horror, an amazing soundtrack, and plenty of girls falling through cut glass, all culminates into a signature Dario Argento film. Here at Monster Nation we have chosen Argento's ode to insects and the girls that control them with his 1985 release, Phenomena. Phenomena tells the story of 13-year-old Jennifer Connelly, creatively named Jennifer in the film, who in tragic but staple film trope heaven is shipped off to a Swiss boarding school filled with hot but bitchy Elsa Queen of the SS type school teachers that all conveniently take a page from the Rita Repulsa School of Voice Dubbing. From there, the vulnerable schoolgirls and hot-for-teacher bitches are terrorized by an unknown killer. Oh, and did I mention that Jennifer Connelly has the ability to communicate, control, and give bugs some serious boner juice? Well, she does. Judge not, as yes, folks, this is the redeeming quality of the film. I guess sex in any form really does sell. With the stress of her unwelcoming surroundings, hyper-stylized murders, and her cocooning bug power, Jennifer is ostracized from her peers. She decides that she would rather be at home in Hollywood, because nothing strange ever goes on there, right? With her divorced father actor, Paul Corvino, a man whose name is uttered to annoyance in the film, but who is never actually seen. The cat-and-mouse game ensues as Jennifer tries to get to the bottom of the murders by using her powers and teaming up with Professor X, played here by Donald Pleasence. With such compelling concepts that cross genres and combine heavyweight directors, familiar actors, and 80s icons, what could possibly go wrong with the film? Well, a few things. For the purposes of this review, I've decided to break it down into categories, starting with direction. Argento is a director who falls short on the storytelling side. Just watch Inferno if you want to see what I mean. He might have made a better director of music videos or art house films as opposed to full-length features, seeing that he's good at giving viewers a variety of images that are cool and beautiful to watch, but are not linear or cohesive. Another boundary in this might be the Italian factor, sometimes being a foreign director, the sensibilities, or I guess the kind of focal points that they choose might have been something that American audiences weren't always used to. Still, he recreates his pretty girl falling through cut glass motif, which can either be lazily inspired by or paying homage to his 1977 release Suspiria. This could just be offering us the same package wrapped in a different body count, only this time he used his own daughter. Not the semi-famous one he filmed naked, but the obscure Cliff Notes one who has a French accent in this film. Story. This is really the film's biggest detriment. It's completely recognizable as Argento's style, though. Often he creates sentiment that comes in too abruptly, he gives backstories to characters far too late, and the rushed entrances or late introductions of some characters adds disruption in the pacing. A positive side, though, is in the concept. A story about a girl who controls insects while trying to solve a murder made good on its hook, even if its delivery wasn't what it could be. It is refreshing to know movies like these were concentrated in the 80s. Fantasy was having a big surge during this time, and combining those elements with a murder mystery successfully piques the viewer's interest, which makes it a good time to talk about characters. The best attribute is, of course, Jennifer Connelly. This was her first feature film, and really the only reason to be invested in the movie. Her character is by far the most interesting in ability, of which I would have liked to see explored more in the film. The contrast of her pale skin against her dark hair fits her into the gothic atmosphere that Argento masterfully creates. Her mutinous power to control bugs that she uses to become a young detective is utterly inventive, and makes her a Marilyn Manson Disney princess of sorts. On the flip side, her character has very naive moments. In fact, there are times when she is meant to show her fear and distrust of all those around her, which is justified at times, but I also found myself wanting to smack her and say, "Please compose yourself, this person is actually trying to help you." Donald Pleasence's character holds a bit of a smart and stupid dichotomy as well. He explains to both Jennifer and the police at various points interesting facts about how you could determine the time of death on a carcass when larvae hatch in it. It is a fact that both advances the story and makes the insects relevant characters as well. On the other hand, he thinks that sending a 13-year-old inexperienced girl out with only a fly to find a serial killer is a good idea. Clearly, my suspension of disbelief, the line is drawn there. I won't reveal who the killer is, but I will say that upon learning who it is doesn't feel novel, even during a time period when many of the horror rules were just beginning to be cemented. There are, however, some wicked cackles and demented laughs to look forward to from said villains. Many of the other characters are archetypes with little to no standout performances, except for one. I saved it for last because it's such a god hand slaps forehead and rolls eyes moment. Yes, I'm talking about the monkey. Donald Pleasance's character is wheelchair-bound and has a monkey for not only companionship, but as a nurse. This god-awful chimp, Yoko Ono shrill and all, is actually supposed to be his caretaker. Legitimacy takes a massive nosedive with this concept, but what's worse is that the monkey ends up upstaging the main actress as the final girl. Gore, scares, and special effects. As it was in the 80s, new ways to scare people were being explored, which translated into characters doing severely stupid things which led to jeopardy, thereby pleasing the audience. But Argento put several of these scenes into the movie that leads viewers right to a plus-size question mark. The gore works best as an afterthought. When you think about what's actually being done to these young women, there is a whole host of sad thoughts that leave an afterburn worse than the clap. Viewers are treated to stabbings, beheadings, broken limbs, and a pool filled with rotting body parts, of which we get to see Jennifer drowning in. Horrific as it might seem, the gore effects are dated to the point where we can see the rubber dummy body doubles. There are two standout effects. In one scene, Jennifer's schoolmates chant insults towards her that result in her going a bit carry on them as she summons a horde of flies. This effect was achieved by pouring coffee grinds into water and superimposing them over the film to make them look like a swarm. The other effect is when we take the viewpoint of one of the flies that twists and turns around the house that leads us to some rotting flesh. I kind of wish that Argento would have utilized more of those kind of shots where they showed like a psychic bond between Jennifer and the fly to the point where she actually maybe got the kind of vision that some insects have, or the point where maybe she could have seen it as like kaleidoscopic or diamond encrusted in some ways. Either way, utterly clever on his part to use it for the scenes that he did. Final word. Although it has its flaws, I felt that there are some saving graces to the film. Aside from the hook of Jennifer's power, there is a fantastic use of color. Argento picks the soft overtones of blue on black that mixes well with the European backdrop. The best part of the film is its score. Bands like Iron Maiden and Goblin provide a frightening soundtrack that also makes you want to get up and dance. Where the film languishes, the music shines and makes a great marriage to the subject matter. It can often be heard as a music-inducing brick road that unravels to let viewers know that they are about to go on a fun journey into a terrain that only can be described as weird. That weird touch is Argento's best contribution. My review may have had some criticism, but the thing that keeps Argento on my radar is his downright use of the bizarre. If you're looking for an experience, then look no further. It is the film that introduced me to Argento and has a special place in my horror movie canon. Argento is a little bit Fellini mixed with Tobe Hooper, which makes it hard not to appreciate his films. He's a director who belongs exactly where he is. And it is his style of filmmaking that helps extend a bit more of the olive branch between mainstream horror and the extreme underground. Definitely worth a view. I'm David, bringing you a retro review on Monster Nation. Be sure to check back on Monster Nation for more reviews, news, and hot topics. Take care, you two. Till next time.